This is Robert Karua with the news on Zodiac. Let's have a look at the headlines. NGO GCN wants new cabinet to respect gender equality law of 40-60 quota in public appointments. Mr. Malawi expresses concern with continued arbitrary summoning arrests and detentions of journalists by police. Anti-Corruption Bureau commits to review 1.7 billion corruption case involving former President Dr. Bakiri Muluzi in less than 30 days. And in sports, Sulom and Old Mutual agrees to award star-performing football players. Now the news in detail. President Lazarus Chakwera has been urged to ensure the new cabinet is expected to release soon respects the gender equality law, which prescribes for 40-60 gender quota in public appointments. NGO Gender Coordination Network Chairperson for Women in Politics and Decision-Making Committee, Thandizo Mpio, said during a media briefing in Nilongo on Wednesday, says this will go a long way in women empowerment. Meanwhile, presidential spokesperson Brian Banda says the president will appoint cabinet in line with the law. We have a report found by Winston Kaimia.
NGO Gender Coordination Network is concerned with the country's failure to promote women's equal participation in politics as well as leadership. The body says there is a silently perpetuated narrative in the country that women are not fit for leadership. NGO GCN Chairperson for Women in Politics and Decision-Making, Thandizo Mpio, describes this as a betrayal to the largest single community within the country's population. She said during a media briefing in Lilongwe that the body expects President Lazarus Chakwera to respect the Gender Equality Act when appointing new cabinet.
Since we're waiting for the cabinet to be out, we are urging the appointing office itself, the highest office, that they should consider women now.
Presidential spokesperson Brian Banda says President Chakwera will respect the law.
The proportional gender representation in governance bodies is addressed by the Gender Equality Act. And the president is aware of what is expected of him by the law. And the president is very eager to call on other institutions, including the civil society themselves, to follow his example.
Currently, women representation in President Chakwera's cabinet stands at 38%. NGO GCN has since released a statement asking both state and non-state actors, as well as the country's development partners, to assist in efforts of ensuring that women are empowered in politics as well as leadership. This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiac.
Mr. Malawi has expressed concern with continued arbitrary summoning, arrest and detentions of journalists by the police. This follows the summoning, detention and questioning of freelance journalist Wotepaso Mzungu over a story in which a news source questioned delays by President Lazarus Chakwera in making public his new list of cabinet members. In a statement issued by Mr. Malawi Chairperson Teresa Temweka Ndanka described the developments as an attack on media freedom, especially coming after assurance by Police IG George Kainja that this would come to an end. We spoke to Ndanga.
We are really concerned that the Malawi Police Service continues to summon, question, or indeed arrest journalists. Wotepaso's case is just one of the recent ones. Recently, we also had a journalist, a Joy Radio journalist, who was arrested in Kawale Township in Nilongwe simply because he was taking pictures of an incident where the police were trying to bring about order. And we find the trend particularly worrying because we have previously engaged the highest officers in the Malawi police, the police IG himself. We have engaged him on such violations. And most times we are promised that they'll look into it, and they're quite committed to make sure that journalists are operating in a free environment. But unfortunately, their promise has not materialized because we have seen journalists being attacked by the police, physically beaten sometimes simply because they are doing their work. The authorities have sometimes promised that they will investigate and discipline their officers, but we are yet to see this. So unfortunately, this will eventually affect the country's ranking in as far as press freedom or freedom of expression is concerned, because most of these violations can never be justified, and we find that particularly worrying.
Teresa Temwekandanga, Miss Malawi chairperson. We later spoke to police spokesperson James Karadzela, who is defending the police action.
This reporter for Nyasa Times or freelance journalist Watipaso Mzungu was invited to police, national police headquarters. There is an issue that we are following as police, so we wanted him to help us with information. So we invited him here, or others may go with someone here, and then he was in the office. We asked him the questions, we recorded a statement from him, and thereafter he was let go. He was let free to go back to his home or to back to his duties. So he was not detained. He was here to help us with the information. He is in a better position, Mr. Watipaso Mzungu, to gratify whether he was detained or not. Because if one is detained, then he's pressed in a police cell. Nothing of that sort happened. He was invited, he was in the office, the statements were recorded there, and thereafter he was allowed to go back home. So he was not detained, but he was invited to help us in as far as the investigations that we are following are concerned.
The voice of James Karadzela, police spokesperson. The country's graft-busting body, Anti-Corruption Bureau ACB, has committed to review the 1.7 billion corruption case involving former President Dr. Bakiri Muluzi in less than 30 days. This commitment follows concerns from the Parliamentary Committee on Legal Affairs subsequent to a meeting the committee had with top officials from the Bureau last week. Chairperson for the committee, Yusuf Ntenda, says they want ACB to report back to them on the future of the case. And from Blantyre, this report by Alex Banda.
The 1.7 billion kwacha graft case involving former President Dr. Bakiri Muluzi was first brought to court in 2009, with the state expecting to parade 40 witnesses. To date, only one out of the 40 has appeared in court. ACB Principal Public Relations Manager Egrit Andala confirmed top ACB officials met the Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament on the future of the case. Chairperson for the Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, Yusuf Ntenda, says they want to know whether ACB has a case to answer or not 14 years on, as taxpayers' money continues to be blown to try the matter.
Anti-Corruption Bureau in court are genuine. Then we need a legal solution so that maybe the former president should be prosecuted and then the court should find him guilty or not guilty.
The former president, Bakiri Muluzi, maintains the 1.7 billion kwacha graft case is politically motivated. Since 2009, the case has been subjected to numerous adjustments, partially owing to the health of the former president. For Zodiak in Blantyre, this is Alex Banda.
In Lilongwe, the Lilongwe Magistrate Court has sentenced to 7 years a maid to Mama Cecilia Gadzimila's late sister Lucy for stealing a motor vehicle. The convict, Arafat Gomani, is suspected to have murdered Lucy Gadzimila in 2019 and stole her vehicle, which he later dumped at Nsalu in Lilongwe. Passing judgment, Principal Resident Magistrate Viva Nyirenda said the offence that Goman committed breached a contract with his former employer. The murder charge was committed to the High Court. Chimome Badata reports.
Passing judgment, Principal Resident Magistrate Viva Nyimba said the offence committed by the convict Arafat Gomani was premeditated and thus attracts a stiff penalty. Gomani is accused of murdering Lucy Gadzamila, sister to Cecilia Gadzamila, in 2019. Gomani worked as a gardener at the house of Lucy at the time he is suspected to have committed the offence of murder. Nyimba further told the court that as an employee, he breached the contract by stealing the vehicle. Arafat Gomani is accused of another charge of murder that was committed to the High Court. For Zodiac, this is Chimwemwe Badata.
Still with court in Blantyre, a senior resident magistrate court has found two residents in the city, Esnat Selemani and her daughter Yanko, with a case to answer for assaulting a nurse at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital. The two are being accused of assaulting and accusing bodily harm to a nurse, Gertrude Moffat, at the hospital early this year. Magistrate Aikara Monyongo says the state proved that the accused indeed committed the offence. Haben Jeramano has filed this report.
Senior resident magistrate Akia Mwanyongo says the court is satisfied with the state evidence that Esnat Selemani and her daughter Yanko committed an offense of assault and occasioning bodily harm to a nurse at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital. According to the magistrate, the accused needed to defend themselves while telling them they have the right to remain silent, to give evidence, to call witnesses, and to adduce other evidence for defense. Legal Aid Bureau Chief Legal Aid Advocate Rogers Mpombeza, who is representing the accused, informed the court intention to recall state witnesses for cross-examination in defense.
We accept the ruling and we are going forward to prepare the defense. We are also preparing to file an application in which we are going to compel the attendance of the prosecution witnesses. As you might be aware that when the prosecution witnesses appeared in court, the accused person had no legal representation. So we would like to recall that the law allows us to recall those witnesses for cross-examination.
The two are suspected to have assaulted Gertrude Moffat in Ward 5A as she asked them to leave the ward as a COVID-19 preventive measure.
Consumer rights activist John Capito says government should focus on increasing competition among local cooking oil manufacturers instead of working on removing additional tax as demanded by the manufacturers. Capito is reacting as an ultimatum by some civil society organizations for the government to scrap off the additional tax is nearing an end. Meanwhile, the Parliamentary Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism is engaging local cooking oil manufacturers on the cause. Chimo Mibawa again.
An ultimatum by a group of civil society organizations that government should scrap off value additional tax on cooking oil is nearing to an end. But there is a new twist. Consumers Association of Malawi, KAMA, through its executive director John Capito, has hit back at local cooking oil manufacturers. KAMA has now issued a 3-day ultimatum demanding the local cooking oil manufacturers to respond on some of their demands, fearing the removal of the tax is a scheme that the manufacturers should benefit more.
They are not producing any cooking oil in the country. They are only refining. This is a new regulation that has come through.
Among the demands in a letter in possession of Zodiak is that the local cooking oil manufacturers should provide a breakdown on how much local raw materials is being produced in cooking oil. But chairperson for Edible Cooking Oil Association of Malawi, Jaishi Patel, says the local manufacturers are free to hold discussions with any concerned party.
They must not introduce unnecessary taxation to kill the industries of this country.
Parliament Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism has meanwhile told Zodiak it will engage the local cooking oil manufacturers. Simplex Chichola Banda is committee chairperson.
What is remaining now is to agree as to when and where to meet.
Government reintroduced the 16.2% tax on cooking oil in the current budget. For Zodiak, this is Chimwemwe Padata.
You're watching the news here on Zodiak. We'll be back with more after this.
To achieve great things in life, you must do little things every day, like the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate. With Colgate and give yourself a future to smile about.
Reintroducing Executive Coach Services. Travel with comfort on a national bus. Executive Coaches as we reintroduce our state-of-the-art buses between Lilongwe and Blantyre. A one-ride journey making you demand for another as you enjoy free Wi-Fi, water dispensers, fridges, HD TV, coffee makers, air conditioning and toilet facilities at only 10,000 kwacha from 10th March to 25th May 2021. Departure points in Blantyre, 6:15 a.m. and 3 p.m. at Golden Peacock Hotel, 6:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. from Old Bestobel near City Motors at General Corner. Finally, 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. at Quickfit near Riles Hotel in Lilongwe, 6:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. from BICC, 6:45 a.m. and 3:45 p.m. from 7-Eleven, and at 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. from City Mall. Thank you, Malawi. Continue riding with us. For bookings, call 0884-821-098 or 0999-910-170. National Bus Coaches, the ride of your life. Bridging the transportation gap.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Malawi, Malawi, Masompenya Amalawi watoto kula Malawi 2063 kale wosi mirabae kufika 2063 kale wokomera aliyense achinyamata tikwirane manja kula Malawi achinyamata tikale patsogolo kula Malawi 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 wosi mirabae Malawi Malawi wokomera aliyense Malawi 2063 kusinda dziko lathu mokomera aliyense.
Welcome back. Here are the top stories again. NGO GCN wants new cabinet to respect gender equality law of 40-60 quota in public appointments. Mr. Malawi expresses concern with continued arbitrary summoning arrest and detentions of journalists by police. Anti-Corruption Bureau commits to review 1.7 billion corruption case involving former President Dr. Bakiri Muluzi in less than 30 days. And in sports, Sulom and Old Mutual agree to award star-performing football players. Moving on with the news, the Technical, Entrepreneur and Vocational Education and Training (TVET) Authority has engaged business captains in Blantyre to orient them in the recent changes the authority is implementing. TVET Executive Director Mr. Wilson Makulumizankoma in an interview said the idea behind the meeting was to create a signage between players in the industry and the authority, which is producing skilled labor force to occupy spaces in different sectors of the society.
We would like to hear from you. By show of hands.
When people go to the industry, sometimes we send boys and girls to the industry for attachment. The industry should know that these boys have come there to be trained in the areas that they never trained in the institutions. Our institutions do not have all the machinery that they can actually practice to be competent. So when they go to the industry, we expect the industry to actually help us train them in the areas we failed to train them in the institutions. And those areas that have been trained in the industry are going to be assessed by the industry themselves because they know who is competent after going through that particular training. Similarly, in the institutions, we try to deliver the knowledge that the industry has given us. I did mention that our industry experts are involved in curriculum development. When they are suggesting areas that should be included in the curriculum, our thinking is that where we have bottlenecks, the industries will come in. For example, we have very expensive equipment at Soch Technical College to do with painting and decoration. Our instructors are not capable of operating that equipment, but the industry experts can come and help these instructors to master this equipment so that they're able to train. So we are saying when there is this talking between the industry and training providers, a number of areas that you have been grappling with will be sorted out.
The Muslim Association of Malawi has set up yet another information bureau in the southern region to strengthen their faith and offer information to the society about their religion. This time, the bureau has been opened in Dirande in the city of Blantyre. Sunrise Malawi caught up with the Sheikh Muhammad Osman, Assistant Mufti, who is also the coordinator for the Islamic Information Bureau. One of the young people from Dirande, Hasina Ahmed, says the opening of this new information bureau in Dirande will help create space for the youths to share about their religion.
It is very, very crucial because it is one of the teachings which Bureau is teaching to Muslim community and the other community, because Bureau is open for everyone, Muslim or non-Muslim, is free to come and learn about Islam in this office. As we said, we opened the first bureau in 1999, 29 November, and now we are opening the fifth office, namely Limbi, Lilongwe, Balaka, Mangochi, and this one. Our message is one, that we have to be united and we have to respect other denominations, other religions also. We have to respect them.
This office will help us as far as Islam is concerned. Islam teaches us to seek for education and information at the same time. So this office will help us so that we should find books that we should read and find information easily. Like in our area as Muslims, we used to lack a place where we can meet as a youth, so that we should be discussing about our faith like Muslims and also other issues which can develop our area. So this office will help us so that a problem should end.
Learners at Yolodan Primary School in Blantyre have pleaded with government to urgently resolve the ongoing teacher strike, which they say is violating their right to education. They say the stay away is a big blow to them, considering that they already struggle to access education at their school, citing inadequate space as one of the challenges choking their education. They said this Wednesday when Christian Youth Association of Malawi supported their school with COVID-19 preventive items. Christopher Sunday with more.
A Standard 6 learner, Princess Mbadzo, and Standard 8 Harry Ganizano of Yolodan Primary School in Blantyre say it is pathetic that they continue to miss classes due to the teachers' strike. They feel time is now for government to move in fast to address the impasse between itself and the teachers to allow them to attend school. The learners claim that they already struggle to access education, considering that their school has only one block out of 864 learners. They said this on Tuesday when Christian Youth Association in Malawi, Siama, donated COVID-19 preventive items at the hard to reach school. One of the Siama's officials, Kenneth Ntago, says the current situation is threatening children's right to attain quality education.
So as a nation, we are pulling those involved in this discussion to say, can you go to the round table, take the interest of the learners at heart so that we are able to resolve. And we are asking to, can you allow teachers to teach while you are discussing this particular matter? I know in the discussion we are going to agree and find amicable solution so that both parties, we smile as a nation.
Teachers have been pushing government to give them risk allowances in a wake of COVID-19 pandemic. Reporting for Zodiak from Blantyre, this is Christopher Sunday.
Let's now have a look at sports. Super League of Malawi Sulum and Old Mutual have entered into a partnership that will see star-performing football players awarded. The partnership will see Player of the Month crediting home with 200,000 kwacha and Player of the Week pocketing 50,000 kwacha, among other benefits. Roy Pulungwe is Old Mutual Life Assurance Managing Director.
Okay, so I think first of all, partnerships are very important in life. Collaborations are very important in life. We saw an opportunity for a win-win-win situation. A situation where Sulom and the players are winning, the supporters are winning, and also Old Mutual is winning. So this will also give us an opportunity to advertise our Timber Family Plan to the multitude of people there who need that solution. If you look at before, these awards were not there. So I think now it will definitely motivate players to perform. Because you now have the opportunity to win awards, it's some cash prizes also at the same time. So I think it will definitely play as a motivating factor. Also, I think it also creates some anticipation and excitement also for the supporters, because they are not left out in the fun. They also can participate and have an opportunity to also win some cash prizes at the end of the day. So for the awards, for the Man of the Match award, we will provide an accolade for the top performer. In terms of the Player of the Week, there will be 50,000 award that's given, and Player of the Month, that will be 200,000 in terms of the award that's given. Also for the supporters, they'll play the Predict and Win game. There's an opportunity for them to win cash prizes of 10,000.
Sulom President Tia Banda says the partnership will help to cushion COVID-19 stress that the sport is going through.
As you're aware, COVID has hit each and every industry, and football is one of the most hit industries. We are playing without funds. Technically means our gate collections, the teams that rely more on gate collections, the gate revenues are no longer there, and it's difficult for the teams and the administrators to even pay up this something to the players. So with the coming in of Old Mutual, we believe it's going to help to alleviate the stress that the teams and the players are going through. With this partnership with Old Mutual, the supporter is also involved by voting for the Player of the Week, by voting for the Player of the Month. In that way, the revenues that are going to be realized from those SMSs that the general public are going to be sending will also go down to the players and the teams. So at the same with that venture, they will be able to alleviate the stress that they are into.
Well, that's it for now. Let's take another look at the headlines before we leave. NGO GCN wants new cabinet to respect gender equality law of 40-60 quota in public appointments. Mr. Malawi expresses concern with continued arbitrarily summoning, arrest and detention of journalists by police. Anti-Corruption Bureau commits to review 1.7 billion kwacha corruption case involving former President Dr. Bakiri Muluzi in less than 30 days. And in sports, Sulom and Old Mutual agree to award star performing football players. Visit our website, zodiacmalawi.com, for more news. COVID-19 vaccination is underway in the country. Make a decision, protect yourself, and protect your loved ones. My name is Robert Karua. Thanks for watching.
Chakwera Nkhani.